Hello, my name is Greg Harradine. I'm a composer, and on this episode of Good Art, Bad Art, I will share my reaction to the album Tall Tales by Thom Yorke and Pritchard, which came out today, Friday, 9th of March. March? May. I wish we were back in March because, my birthday's in that month, so it's a nice month for me. But we're in May. So, what did I think? I will tell you. I will share a bit of background to the album and share my thoughts on it. I should say, as you've probably gathered by now, I filmed these videos in one take. They're 8 minutes, one take, no edits. And I love to hear from you. Let me know if I've got it right or wrong with what I think about this album. And let me know what I should cover next on my next episode. Any type of music, I'm up for discussing it. Trying to figure out what's good and what's bad about it. Okay, Tall Tales. So, collaboration, yes, between Pritchard and Thom Yorke, and it started around 2020. The COVID pandemic hit. Thom Yorke was at home, and he emailed Pritchard and said, "Look, send me some music. I'm stuck at home. I want to work on something." They had a relationship going back a bit longer, so they knew each other, and Mark started to send Thom bits of music, and they worked on these songs. They went back and forth, with obviously Mark mainly doing all the instrumental music, Thom Yorke adding vocals, but Thom Yorke also added some synth stuff, some effects, and these songs grew from that collaboration. What's the album like? Well, it is very dark and unsettling. That's the general vibe. It makes you feel quite uneasy. It can make you feel anxious, actually. It's not unremittingly dark. Some of the songs, well, a couple maybe, have a bit of positivity to them, sort of. But to be honest, to my mind, the songs with more positivity, I'm thinking of songs like The Spirit and The Men Who Dance in Stags' Heads, those ones are actually less successful than the darker songs on this album. I think because it is so dark, when there is a bit of light, it just comes across not entirely convincing to my mind. I think it succeeds best in its darker moments that have a bit of energy to them. When it gets very bleak, in like The White Cliffs, that song, it just goes on, and it's so bleak for 8 minutes. And I believe it's just minor chords the whole time, right? Most songs have at least one major chord in them, but The White Cliffs, it's just minor chord after minor chord. Tell me if I've got that wrong. Maybe they snuck a major chord in there somewhere. But some of the great tracks on this album, Back in the Game. Great track. I just love the tuba line. I guess it's a synth tuba that comes in and out from time to time. This set of seemingly random notes. It seems like it's almost all 12 notes of our chromatic scale in a random order. It's not quite all 12. It's not a tone row. It's not part of a serial composition. But it's what is it, 9 or so? Roughly 9 random notes played on the tuba. It's great. Reminds me in a way, of Anna Meredith's work. I'm thinking of her track Nautilus, which is quite different really, but it's brass based, and it has this brilliantly compelling rising chromatic brass motif going on, which reminded me of the kind of chromatic, randomly selected chromatic notes of this tuba line in Back in the Game. Anyway, Back in the Game, great track. Happy Days near the end of the album. I thought that's a great track too. It's just the title, Happy Days, is not a happy song. It's dark, but it's got this but I feel there's a black humor element to this song. It features the line, "Death and taxes," repeated quite a lot. Death and taxes, a famous phrase. Nothing in this life is certain except death and taxes. Benjamin Franklin wrote that in a letter. That's the most famous quotation of this phrase about death and taxes, but he didn't come up with it. There's records from earlier than Benjamin Franklin of this phrase being in common parlance. Yes, it's dark and bleak, this album. It reminds me in a way of some of David Lynch's dark and bleak moments in his films. So I'd be lying if I said I enjoyed the experience of listening to this album. I certainly did in parts of it, very powerful, but you're left feeling just unsettled. Unsettled, I would say, in a lot of these tracks. Like when I watched the movie Firewalk with Me, I didn't enjoy it. I thought it was a great movie, left me feeling very unsettled. I want to read a little bit of the promotional text put out by Warp Records about this album. So it says, their debut collaborative album, a decade in the making, yeah, mainly from 2020, but some of Mark Pritchard's music does date back further than that. Landscapes of synth pop, prog, dub, 70s synth, Joe Meek, Ivor Cutler, Library, Kraut, and classic Warp. Tall Tales sounds like both musicians meeting in the hinterland. Interesting. Yes. And then a bit more promotional copy later on the Warp website about this album. It says, it's a quote about AI. And it says, "We wanted computers to do our accounting. Instead, they try to paint our pictures and sing our songs." Now, I feel in my interpretation of this album, I get the feeling that that kind of idea is partially influential to this album. The idea that we're letting computers and AI encroach ever more on our creativity. Why? Well, I know why. People are trying to make money out of it. But why would we let AI, take some of the most creatively fulfilling tasks that humanity has devised, that of writing songs, painting pictures? And why would we hand it over to AI when there's so many thousands, tens of thousands of people who are great at doing these things? And yeah, so I feel like there's this theme, even if it's not overt, I feel it does come across this subtext theme of the computers are coming, the AI is coming. How's that going to interact with human creativity? Also, I guess the fact this was largely written during the COVID pandemic probably adds to the bleakness, adds to the darkness of this album. Usually I give a score out of 100 on my reviews, but I feel like this is more of a reaction than a review. I've only heard it once, so I'm not going to give a score out of 100. I'm just going to say it's a very powerful record, not hugely enjoyable throughout for me, but very well written. Some tracks are absolutely standout, like Back in the Game, like Happy Days. I think they're the best. Which ones do you think are the best tracks? Yeah, let me know your thoughts on this album. I'm going to listen to it again and again. I'm going to delve into it more, see how my views change over multiple listens. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe and let me know what I should cover next on my next Good Art, Bad Art video. So thanks very much. I've been Greg Harradine. Goodbye.